Dwa. Good evening. Today with me is Agnieszka Homańska. She's a student from University of Warsaw, and also, basing on my opinion, she's a citizen of the world. Hello, Agnieszka.
Hello, thank you very much.
I'm very happy that I'm having you today. I perfectly know your career, and for me, it's extraordinary. And you should be an example for young people. And for this reason, I would like to ask you three very difficult and at the same time very easy questions related to your personal career. The very first question: how can young people get involved in organizations, international organizations, national organizations? What can they do?
Thank you very much for this talk and for such a interesting question, but difficult, as you said. Firstly, I would start with universities because there already exists a whole range of multiple organizations, such as student societies, that give a lot of possibilities of development. And not only can one join such a body, but also everyone can start something new. And personally, I am a member of Students' Foreign Affairs Society that exists, and it also merges two universities. So not only the University of Warsaw, but also the University of Economic. So, it gives two perspectives from two different universities or two different schools. I am also a part and a co-founder, I would say, of Youth About Politics. And this is a student society, an organization where we publish magazines and we have talks, we have some webinars or seminars, depending on the situation, with professors and with specialists. So we can really develop our skills, and also we can meet new people. And I am also a member of Forum Młodych Dyplomatów, where I also can attend and organize meeting with diplomats, scientists, just as I said before. And joining an organization may seem difficult, and founding one of them impossible, but it isn't. And here I am as a perfect example of a person who did both or is doing both, and actually it all just works. And what can I say about such organizations? Except for, or maybe one part is meeting people from like professors, experts, getting to know this direct perspective of some specialists or maybe diplomats, as I am deeply interested in diplomacy. I have amazing possibility, or I had last year an amazing possibility to meet up with diplomats from Cuba, with ambassadors from Cuba, Spain, Italy, and it was just something extraordinary that I would never ever do, only being a part of a university. But also I can meet new people and I can build a real network with those people, and we can do other initiatives. We can talk, we can find solutions. Sometimes we can also say, okay, let's do something, and let's, for example, write a paper, and later we give this paper to somebody else, and this person, like an expert, he or she says, okay, hey, this is very good. How about publishing it? So we can also develop our scientific skills. And I think also people is something that is extremely important when it comes to self-development, and also when it comes to being engaged in international community. So if you want to set a new organization, or if you want to get involved into an organization, just find something that is interesting for you, find something where you think you can develop yourself and where you can really benefit from those ideas. Be patient, be determined, because sometimes it is really difficult and you are going to get tired because of your studies, blah, blah, blah. There are a lot of things that we are trying to combine because we are humans. And don't worry, because the results, in my opinion, will always pay off.
To be honest, you motivated me. After our talk, I will write another article. Oh, or we write something together. To be honest, it's quite easy to say, but we both know that it's only the perspective which is stopping us or preventing us from doing those things which we love, or we can call them our dreams. So in this case, you can clearly see that you have an idea, the agenda for your life. So how to turn into a successful project this particular idea? Tell us the truth, tell us this specific, give us these recipients, they'll tell us what are those ingredients to prepare or to offer a success.
Okay, well, I'd have to say that, as I said at the beginning, it has to be something that really interests you, because the whole process of organization, the whole process of development can be discouraging. So it's better to be really focused on what you are doing. And even if you fail, say, okay, I like it, I will continue, because one day it will be okay. And I would like to maybe point out a few essential ideas or elements that for me are very, very important. So it can be schedule, partners, fundraising, graphical identification, communication, social media, and promotion. And those 7 points, oh, it's like a lucky 7. Those 7 points can be applied to a project or an initiative that you are working on, or also on your career life. Because building a schedule, meaning that you have a schedule of what you are doing and you have deadlines of what you are doing, regardless of the fact if it's like a thing that you are working on, if it's like a project, or if it's just your work, let's say, your paper, your thesis. When you obey the rules, when you stick with your deadlines, even when they are set by yourself, you can clearly see the effects later. Then when it comes to partners and fundraising, with partners, it's easier to organize anything, because they will help you, for example, with getting money. And getting money for a project or for your personal development is important, because, you know, money doesn't grow on the tree. So basically we all need money. And if you find somebody who really wants to help you, these people or this organization, this company will say, hey, I like what you're doing, I like your idea, I will help you with that. Then graphical identification, you know, we tend to remember better pictures and colors than just a plain text put on, for example, Facebook. Communication within your group, within your team, or communication with your partners, or with your universities. For example, recently I've been coordinating some project, and this project it was really, really near to fail, because the communication did not exist, and we did not meet some deadlines, and we had problems with some partners, just because somebody didn't tell somebody something, and we were not on the phones, because sometimes you just have to put everything apart and you really have to be in touch. And social media and promotion, well, how do you want to do something when people don't know anything about you or your initiative? I think this is important, to have your LinkedIn, to have Instagram and Facebook. Of course, they can be like the soft power, but LinkedIn, Twitter, if you are into political stuff, I would say, but also just like posting and telling people about what you are doing, or about the process of your project, to let the people and let the external world see how it is going, what are the next steps, to see how you are flourishing.
During our conversation, I wrote down some of your statements, not to share with our listeners, but to keep it for myself, just to use them in the future. I'm very glad that we invited you, because you are a pure example of a person who is struggling and working hard to achieve what you want. And you mentioned this international community. We do know that under COVID-19 and also with this very competitive environment when everyone is likely to work in the European Union, but mainly in Belgium, could you tell us what about the international community and how can we benefit from them? And here I would like you to focus on your personal experience, and also can you give us your perspective and your wishes? How do you see, how would you like to see, what are your wishes, your goals to have this internal community with all young people? Because I would like to remind you all that 2022 is the year of youth in the European Union, so it's our time.
Yes, that's right. And I think we have to remember about it, and about that international community gives us a lot of opportunities, such as Erasmus. I attended 2 Erasmus programs. The first one was the internship of Erasmus Plus. So it was actually something different than studying abroad. I went to Spain, and right now, before going to Spain, I spoke 4 languages. Now I speak almost 6, and I get to know my Spanish perfectly just from, saying only "Hola, ¿qué tal?" So hello, how are you? To speaking perfectly Spanish. And I get to know a lot of people who also came to Spain for other purposes than just studying. So I also get new contacts from the people that are not from the academic academic world, and it also opened my mind when I was, for example, talking with my friends, my Spanish friends, who lived there and who were just working. They were not studying at all, and they told me so many things that just opened my eyes on another perspective. Then, as I mentioned, Erasmus, of course, just like the normal version, I would say, of a program, Erasmus. I went for 1 semester to Aix-en-Provence, nearby Marseille. So Marseille, yeah. And I was brushing up on my French, but also I really wanted to know how does the academic life and how does the educational system in France look like. And I get to know new ideas of studying, new ideas of sitting exams, because my friends were, sometimes I was shocked and sometimes they were shocked, like, "Oh, Aga, you do that in Poland, really?" Or yeah, so it was something new, and it also helps me right now with some of my duties and my studies. And also what I mentioned at the beginning, languages. Without languages, it is difficult. Right now, I think that English is, of course, not our native language, but it is. It should be for us our second important language, and we really should be able to communicate in English. But there are a lot of other beautiful languages that helps us, for example, when it comes to understanding the world. For example, when I was in France, my professors showed me some websites or some magazines, some newspapers, only in French, where I could get more information, for example, on Africa. And as you mentioned at the beginning, I'm really interested in Africa, and especially in the field of defense. And it was very difficult for me to find it in Polish or even English discourse. Whereas in French discourse, I get to know the whole new variety of sources for my development, for my work. And other international programs are other exchanges. So when at the beginning I was speaking about those societies, those organizations, a lot of organizations, students organizations, they have programs, they have exchanges, they enable us young people to meet up with other young people from other worlds, from other countries, but worlds, I'd say also, because sometimes you meet people from a completely different part of the world and they have completely different views. And this also can help you opening up on some other ideas. And another kind of international exchange is internship, for example, as far as I know, and I'm really interested in that, in the future, just after my graduation, there is a possibility to get an exchange in the European Parliament. And it is not only paid because, you know, money is important, but it is very, very good to get to know how European Union work, how the European Parliament work, because sometimes it is a little bit incomprehensive for us. Okay, there are some institutions and 27 member countries, but what's really going on there? So I think going somewhere, for example, to the European Parliament, especially as it's our year, upcoming our year in just several days, it's just good to get involved. And later, by going on such programs, exchanges, again, you build a network, you have the contact, you are there just working, you know, it goes just like this process that you start something and then you go, spill over, or domino effect, whatever you want to say. This is exactly it.
I wish we met within the next 5 years, and I would like to see at the top, for example, one of international organizations, because I had many talks about this private and public sector, and I think you're aware of that most of young people who are good at something, they are going to private sector because the salary is better, the pressure is lower. So I hope we can have you as one of examples and also our leader. Thank you for your amazing speech and statements.
Thank you very, very much. And I wish it is going to be an amazing time for us, for the young people.